Hello friends, welcome to Exampur. I hope my voice is audible clearly, screen is visible. If everything is set, please do let me know so that I can proceed with the lecture. Is my voice clearly audible, screen is visible? So, this is all about the Exampur app. You are just required to install the Exampur app. Why you should do that? You have a lot advantages, a lot benefits getting out of the Exampur app. What all are those benefits? Is it available on the free? Yes, it is available on the free. Whether it be about PDF, subject by wise the discussion and the various exams, PYQs, current affairs, these are available for the free. So you should not forget to install the Exampur app. You just have to go through the 6 steps and you need to get registered. You will get to see various advantages of batches you want to take the advantage of if you want to go for the paid batch. And if you want to have the access of the free amenities, you can avail that as well. These are the free amenities which is available on the Exampur app. So we were about to discuss the IPR. What is IPR? Intellectual property right. And what has been asked in the question that what are the key features of national intellectual property rights? And while mentioning the achievement, new IPR policies also discuss the issues related to it and why this is under the limelight in 2021. If we do talk about, that was the year we were discussing about the vaccine, which is making the things reliable in order to make the people healthy under the scenario of COVID. So what we are talking about here is we need to be very much concerned about IPR. First is all about IPR. Second, what kind of achievement you get to see out of this? Is there any achievement so far? Third is all about what is the basic feature. If we are talking about the achievements, we have to go by the features of this IPR policy. Feature of the policy. And fourth would be for issues. If you are getting any issue relevant to this topic. Issues relevant to the topic. Whatever achievements we are unable to achieve so far, and even if we have achieved something, and what are the drawbacks is there. And fifth is all about the constructive criticism, constructive approach. Constructive approach. Okay. So in this question, what you have to mention, that is all about the IPR, intellectual property rights you have to write. And second is all about the achievement if you have attained so far. Third is all about the features. What is the basic feature of the policy you are talking about right now? And fourth, is there any drawback relevant to that policy? If this is so, mention the same. And constructive approach you have to mention if we are going to do such and such things, it is going to make the improvised version in the same. So we are going to discuss the point in detail that what is the approach of this question which is asking for the IPR with the achievements and relevant issues associated with that topic. So approaches could be for IPR intellectual property rights, and why country need to have good IPR regime. Why country required to have their good regime. In order to explain this, what do you mean by IPR? In order to understand the IPR, I am going to let you know why every country wants to have the access of good IPR regime. Because if you do talk about the IPR, you will get to know it's a kind of creation, it's a kind of ownership of patent which you have prepared into the world. This is a kind of innovation on your behalf. If you have made a production of the vaccine, then you should be given patent for it. as you have made the research on that part. IPR, why you just want to go for the good regime in this part? Regime, as you are making investment, in R&D, for the production, for the invention, you can talk about creation, and the production expansion, or you can say technological point of view. Whatever you are just going for, if you're making investment in research and development, you should have some kind of benefits out of the investment you are making. Suppose you have just made the investment in the research and development of vaccine. You should be given that parameter or copyright, at least, that you are only legalized to opt for this. Nobody can else replicate this. Nobody cannot opt for the same techniques you are using, as you are holding the copyright before the techniques you are using, as you have made the investment in the research and development. Getting my point? If I have made the investment on research and development, I am making expansion in the production basis, and I am doing such and such things for the expansion of the business. So I should be giving that much of privilege that I have the only the ownership of my copyright, that I can produce the certain things. Like I have given the example of vaccine, I am only authorized to use the vaccine. I can only make the production of the vaccine. So this leverage, this privilege I am attaining just because I have made the investment in the research and development. If this would not be given, what if it would not be given? It would be disincentives incentivize the investors nobody wants to make the production in that part. As if I've made the investment in research and development, which is making the upgradation in the production part, so I would require a kind of royalty for the significance of investment. Obviously, every investor is going to invest only when he is getting anything in return. So he should be given royalty, he should be given return out of the investment they are making, he should be given incentivized policy so that they feel attracted to make investment in research and development. Getting my point? This is only the provision we want to opt for IPR, so that other nations, every economy could make research and development and technological upgradation, come up with the new creation and innovations, so that they could get attracted towards the production expansion base. Enumerate the main features, as it is mentioning, as it is already mentioned in the question that you have to write about the policy. What are the policy you are really talking about, and what kind of achievements you have attained so far? Okay, so this is all about the introduction. It is all about the creation, copyright you are getting, trademark of the if you have come up with the vaccine, suppose if you have made any kind of medicines that is through the research and development, you should be given that much of privilege that you have established your own copyright, your own patent, your own trademark. If you are establishing that, you have only leverage of producing more and more medicines. Only you okay, just because you do have access of your trademark, nobody else. You cannot, nobody else can make the competition in this scenario because they have not made any kind of contribution in research and development. Next is all about to promote the innovation. In order to promote, why we should make the attracted policy towards the countries which are requesting to have good policies for the IPR. Why is it so? In order to increase the innovation base, to upgrade the technological scenario, to bring up new innovations, you would require to attract or incentivize the investors to invest in research and development, which is need of our, specifically for the country like us, specifically for the country like Indian economy. We require a lot investment in research and development. We should provide the incentivized policy, especially to the private investors, by providing them different rights which can lure or make them attracted towards making investment in research and development scenario. So next is all about basic salient feature. What kind of feature is involved in National IPR Policy 2016? As this question has been formed in order to make the analysis of this policy. Getting my point? If we have to make the analysis, we can just make the analysis on the basis of 3 to 4 years or 5 to 6 years. What this is all about, it is the all IPRs to the single platform. It is the whatever concern we are coming across, we are facing, concern relevant to the IPRs, we just have to contact the single platform. That is this policy it is coming under. Next, aiming is all about global best practices. We have to come in the Indian scenario. Like we have to just make the exploration, the way we are doing so good in software. We are considered as the software hub. We are doing so good at pharma industries. And we are doing so good at automobiles. Number 5, expecting to reach at third by the year 2030. Getting my point? The way we are making representation in these fields which are literally service oriented, we are, as they are not making the involvement of employment, but they are playing a representative role. Pharma industries for the generic medicines, you might have heard about it, and automobiles is on number 5 if we do talk about the today's scenario, and we are also making the expectations that it would reach at 3rd position by the year 2030, and we are considered as the software hub. Why can't we make the investment in the research and development which can come up with the new innovation in the industrial basis as well? As why we are required to make the investment in the innovation scenario? Why this is so important? Why this is so important for Indian economy? To generate the employment opportunity. How can it be done? Like if you are making innovation, or making the people, you just have to make the interlinkage between these two. Interlinkage between these two higher education. You have to just make the match between the innovation along with the higher education so that people could get skilled. Okay, people could get skill, and out of that skill, they can add their productivity in the industry by making the upgradation in industry, which is really need of hour. If you have to absorb more and more people, if you have to absorb, includes manufacturing, which generates employment, opportunity. Getting my point? Or innovation could only be possible with the help of, if we are making the investment in research and development. If we are making investment in research and development, and this could be only done if the IPR or incentivized policy would be there. Incentivized policy would be there. Okay, so such kind of scenario we need to make the accomplished, then only we can generate the employment basis. We can raise the productivity basis, loosen the burden on agriculture, and if we are increasing the productivity part, optimum utilization of resources. Optimum utilization of resources, which are also in favor of environment. If we are using our resources thoroughly, it would be well equipped for environmental point of view as well. So this is all happening. Like you can just take the example for this basis that minerals which we are using, we are just using the 10% capacity or potential of those minerals. Even though we are using tremendous amount of illegal means just to have the access of minerals, if we are using the illegal means, even if we are making the utilization of illegal means to have the access of minerals, even though we are not using the resources, this 10% of potential, if we have to make the expansion in the uses of this potential, if we have to increase the potential, capacity to use of minerals or any resources, if you need to make the upgradation, you need to expand the base of your productivity, which could only be inculcated if you are bringing up new means, creations, innovation, which could be generated from the research and development, new approaches has to be upgraded with the help of research, more and more research, and proper funding would be required, and private investors do have that money. You just require to make a push on those people who are in condition to make investment, if you do not possess that much of amount to make investment. So IPR promotion management set up under the DIPP. Okay, so cell promotion and management under the DIPP, Department for Intellectual Property and Production, single point of reference for implementation of objective of national IPR policy, and whether it be about anything, you would be given copyright, like film, music, industrial, drawing will be all covered under the copyrights. And next is all about seek to facilitate the domestic IPR filing for entire value chain, just to make the things commercialized. Whatever you are doing, whatever innovation you are doing, you would be getting returns out of it. That is the real character. whatever innovation you are making, you would be given proper returns on the copyrights or on the investment of research and development. Example, whatever copyrights and patents you have gained out of the research. Okay, next is all about policy has many achievements. What all about? Till 2019 we have attained 52nd position. Now we are under the top 50 ranking in case of innovation. Means we are making the expansion in the base of innovation. If we do talk about strengthen the institutional mechanism, patents, trademarks, filings, we are working on this scenario in different institutions across the different states. So what do we mean by most certainly these policies are intended to create robust IP regime. As I have already mentioned that most of the countries do require, even every country would demand for a good IPR regime in order to make more exploration in the innovation field, creation and invention kind of things. So competition should be generated. Competition should be there in case of innovation as well. The way it does not allow Section 3D of IPR 1970 as amended in 2005 does not allow evergreening of patents which have been a cause of concern to the pharma company, which are using different formulas and generating the generic medicines, giving the cheaper access to the people, which is really becoming a concern for the companies who are really making investment and getting the formulas in a very created form. Okay, that would be a kind of disadvantage for them. Like if I'm making research and development for this A formula, or it has been used by different people who do not make any kind of contribution in the research and development. So I should be given that monopoly, to produce only. Competition should not be generated. This is the major concern. Even at the time of pandemic, when various vaccines has come into the picture, it was mentioned by WHO that we can just release the IPR norms just for the sake of the health issues arising over the world, global scenario, so that competition could be generated. Competition means various producers could use the same formula. Competition could use the same formula, and if they are using the same formula, every participant would increase the supply, or if they are increasing the supply, prices would go down, or it would become cheaper access for people. In fear of this price fall, investor would not intend to make any research investment on the research and development in fear of price fall if IPR norms are not that strong, because they are all aware about the fact, even if we are making the research and development, I would not be availed any kind of privileges out of the vaccine or out of the patent and copyright I have made. Okay, because if any competition is being generated, means you can get to see supply would be on larger amount. If there would be more supply, price has to go down, and price is going down, margin is going down. With respect to this research and development, I have made huge research and development, which is not being made by competitor. I am the one who has invested on research and development. Why to take privilege? Why competitor is taking the privilege of this research? They are getting the cook food in their hands by opting the formula which is available in a cooked way. So conclusion, what we can form out of the statement, that conclusion, enforcement of Copyright Act is weak. Like Copyright Act is weak. What we want to say over here is piracy of copyrighted material is widespread. Like widespread, India has made a number of changes. India has made a number of changes in the IPR norms which increase the efficiency culture of innovation is taking center stage in the economy. Obviously, it is making expansion in case of innovation. Just because of this reason, we are attaining a good ranks in the innovation index. We are making exploration and trying to make the exploration in research and development to enhance the productivity part. So, at the time, why the Copyright Act is weak and piracy of copyrighted material is widespread, we need to just acknowledge the time of pandemic. The update you should have in your mind at the time of a pandemic, various like Sputnik, Covaxin, Covishield, when they have come into the picture, they have acquired a kind of copyright over the vaccines. Just because of these monopoly, which enables to restrict the supply, and if we are restricting the supply, if the supply is less, it is leading price expansion. It is leading the price expansion, which is giving privilege to the investor. This is giving privilege to the investor of margin. Getting my point? This is the privilege they are gaining out of the margin they are receiving because price hike is there. Getting my point? If this monopoly would be released, competition would come into the picture, and main concern during that time period in the world scenario, that if people would not be there, what you are going to do out of the profit? You are making production for people, right? People would not be there to have access of the benefit. How would you take out the margin? Whatever royalty, whatever research and development investment you are making. Getting my point? So you should loosen up your monopoly and take a shift towards the competition, so that supply could go up. And if the supply is going up, price would go down, which would become more accessible for the country. To acquire. In such condition, IPR norms could be exempted. Okay, innovation we are doing good enough, and India need more reforms and better implementation. Just they would require, in order to take the privilege of the margin, in order to take the incentive, in order to take the various benefit out of the innovation. We can do it, as I have already mentioned about the pharmaceutical industries, automobile, software. Like we are literally rocking in these fields. Why can't we make upgradation in this field? Obviously, even if we are making the upgradation, it is not only making the expansion in the production part, innovation part, productivity part, but it is also making upgradation or generating the employment basis. Okay. So what we have done so far, I am going to just get a quick glance related to the problem. In the question, it has been asked related to the national intellectual property rights and the mentioning achievements IPR policy, and you had to discuss regarding the issues. So first, IPR achievement, feature of the policy, issues, and the constructive approach you can put forward. In the same way, approaches you have made the utilization of IPR and why every country would require needs to have the good IPR policies in order to just get a push of margin that they would feel incentivized to make investment and research and development. And this is all about, last question is all about the achievement and issue. At first, you have to make the indigenous creativity, whatever innovation you have made, you have to put forward that yes, I have produced this, and productivity. I am in that situation to take the advantage out of this scenario. These are the features. Single platform, we can take the example of global practices. You can just make the representative over here. And it is coming under the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. Industrial Policy and Promotion, it is coming under. And this is going to, why this is so important, why we are required to have the good IPR policy, because it is going to generate the employment basis, raise the productivity, loosen the burden of on the agriculture sector, and optimum utilization of the resources. This was the curriculum I've opted for. We are required to give incentivized policy so that investor would make make investment on research and development so that innovation could be generated. And we have to just make an interlinkage with the higher education. And if we are making the interlinkage with the higher education, many of the skilled personnel would come out to make a research and development program and to make contribution in the industries. And industry is the need of our, as it is going to generate employment basis. Industrial sector also includes the manufacturing one, which is the labor intensive sector, and generate the employment opportunity. So cell of IPR promotion, I have already told you about the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. IPR is coming under that only. Film, movie and drawings we are talking about, covered by the copyright if you have created your own, and domestic IPR and value chain from the IPR generated to commercialization. Commercialization, like you need to make. Commercialization is all about the returns you are getting on the contribution. Getting my point? In whatever way you are making out of. And next is all about innovation. Are you making improvement? Yes, you are making improvement. And the institutional framework and the formal framework, you are making upgradation. Next is all about does not allowing the evergreening, continuously use of patent. You are not allowing this, as it is causing the difficult task for the other countries. If we are providing the compulsory licensing policy, it is generating the competition, giving the leverage to the competitor that they are just using the formula for free. Though the one who has created it spent a lot of time, efforts and money on the research and development, they should get something in return out of that state. Data exclusivity means foreign investor MNCs. Indian law does not protect against the unfair commercial use of test data and other data, as we are not having proper notes proper norms related to the protection of data as EU has. Okay, we need to make the precautions on that basis because they are taking the utilization of that. Conclusion, I have already mentioned the difference between the pandemic situation, what we have gone through, and we have made the further analysis. Related to the common people who were really suffering at the time of pandemic. They would require, they had gone through severe conditions. So they had to have the access of the vaccines. So it has to bring under the competition so that supply could go up, price could go down, accessibility could be expanded, and it would become reachable to the people. Getting my point? So monopoly, out of the monopoly, wherever you are making the investment, you should get that privilege to the way you are making the investment. You should get the privilege of the margin you are earning out of the monopoly by restricting the supply at the time of copyright and patent. So guys, if you have any doubt related to this, you can just raise the doubt before ending up the session. You should, again, I just want to repeat, do not forget to download the Exampur app, as you are receiving a lot benefit. Various paid courses are there. Free subject-wise notes are there available, exam dates, PDFs are available, current affairs are available, and PDFs are available for free. Many of the things are available for free. You just require to install the Exampur app and take the benefits that is for free. Thank you so much. Have a great day to all of you. Do not forget to come at 9 for the economic static portion and 12 for the DNA